Talmor, Shishin Marachi. Talmor is my home. My family have worked the land for generations. My gran says the island does not belong to us, but we belong to the island. And we must be ready, for a great evil is coming, and death follows with it.
Listen and subscribe to the latest season of Undertow, The Harrowing, a Storyglass production presented by Realm, available wherever you get your podcasts.
With your long-forgotten name, we call upon you.
We call upon you.
In the words of the unspeakable language, we call upon you.
We call upon you.
By the spilt blood of the wicked, who walk upon this world sprouting the words of false idols, we call upon you.
We call upon you.
On the land of the dead harvest, that which brings the earth itself into your service, Yamal, we call upon you.
We call upon you. We call upon you. We call upon you.
Yamal calls upon you.
The Sprouting, a Call of Cthulhu actual play podcast by Blighthouse Studio. Find us on your podcatcher of choice.
Hello!
Hello! It is
Happy
the holiday
Thanksgiving.
season. Jenny
Happy
is as old
my
as me
birthday.
now. Do.
How? Well, for like 3 weeks or something.
It's a beautiful time in buffering the Vampire Slayer's life. The time between November 22nd and December 17th every year.
Now, how could anybody who listens to our podcast remember when my birthday is? That's my question.
Well, this year they remembered because there was a grand Jenny birthday sale in our merchandise store, actually.
True.
So hopefully you didn't miss that. If you did,
A beautiful celebration of me.
Yes, you should be following us on social media at BufferingCast because sometimes we announce sales and we can't deliver an episode unto thine ears. So we put it on social media. If you missed it, we had a 3-day sale in our store, the code for which was 6969. 69 in honor of Jenny's birth. Jenny, do you know what else you should be thankful for?
Yeah, I actually do. It's
you?
also something that makes me think of 696969 additionally. It's Kate Leth on this episode guesting with us, gracing everyone with her hot takes.
Yo, Kate Leth was in the room with us. All three of us were in the same room. And I don't know what's going to happen when we do an episode in season 7 with Kate. Because at this point, it's just gotten out of hand. You're in for a fucking treat in this episode, I would say.
Yeah, it's like when we get together with Kate, it's like the Roman Empire under the rule of Caligula doing a podcast or something.
I don't know.
It's a fucking mess.
I don't know how to transition us from Caligula to the holiday gift exchange, but there you have it. If you are, if you're a patron of ours at any level, you get a whole bunch of cool shit. One of those things is being a part of the patron organized, Scooby organized holiday gift exchange. This is the 3rd year, I believe, that it has happened. Jenny and I are both in the holiday gift exchange as well. So we all get shaken around in a big bin, metaphorically, and assigned to one other Scooby, and we buy that Scooby a present, and that Scooby buys us a present, and we send it to each other, and it's really sweet and special. The deadline to sign up for the holiday gift exchange this year is November 29th, and we'll put up a post on Patreon today, just with the link to that Scooby organized holiday gift exchange so that you can get in there before the deadline passes.
Yes, sign up before the deadline passes, and if you happen to draw me as the person you have to get a gift for.
This is now a podcast for one.
And you want to double down and get me a birthday present and a Christmas present. That's allowed. I'm a host. I just made that rule.
Wow.
Thank you.
Okay, fine. Well, my birthday is December 17th, Jenny. We should have a birthday gift exchange where everybody gets us and they just all send us birthday presents.
Oh my God. That would be a really good scam.
You're right. I'm ruining the Scooby
year.
spirit. I'm like, isn't it so nice we all give each other gifts and by the end of this, we're just like, send us all the presents. Okay. So, speaking of presents, We have, I think it's the best our store has ever looked, our Buffering the Vampire Slayer store. We worked with John Allison Weiss on 2 new designs, a 'Tis the Season design that has Faith's knife pointing directly at Buffy's stake. It says 'Tis the season, whatever that means.
Hope they don't accidentally touch.
It's an amazing crew neck sweatshirt in the US store. And if you're in the UK, it's an amazing t-shirt. It's in both places, just different apparel items. In the US store, we also have not 1, but 2 Sleepaway Witch Camp t-shirts, also designed by John Allison Weiss. We also did a special holiday printing of our most famous shirt of all, Smash the Demon Lizard Patriarchy. We did it on a black t-shirt with gold foil printing. It's going to be so gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
We've also got a flipping Christmas ball. We've got a Christmas ornament for you to hang on your tree if you're the kind of person who has a tree. And if you're not, you can hang it on just about anything that accepts hooks as a hanging device.
Youch.
It's a sweet green Christmas ball with the Smash the Demon Lizard Patriarchy little logo on it. It's so beautiful. We've also got a partridge. We've also got a pear tree.
Ooh, and
pretty much everything you could want. Yes, and a mug. And the mug you could hang on a tree if the branches were strong enough. It's a heavy, hefty diner mug. It's the kind of mug you'd use to, if you were tied up and captured by a villain, you could use this mug once you untied your hands to knock the villain out and escape. Just a thought.
And that, my friends, is capitalism at its finest.
Hooray! Protect yourself. Buy our mug. So you can do that. You can buy that mug or anything else you would like from us by going to bufferingthevampireslayer.com and clicking on shop.
Also, we have some events happening. If you were paying attention, you know that our prom is a 2-night affair this year. It's in April. It's in Brooklyn. And the first night of it, the live taping of I Was Made to Love You, has sold out completely. All of the bundles have sold out, but there are still single tickets available for prom that you can get. So if you just want to go to Saturday night's prom, those tickets are still available. Also, we've got about 10, 15 tickets left to San Francisco, which happens in just a few days on Friday, December 6th. So
Sell us out.
Yeah, so you can go to bufferingthevampireslayer.com, just click on events, and you can find out all the information for all of those upcoming events. Jenny, talk to us about sex and tension.
I've got all the data you need. And man, I really like these numbers this week. Ever since I bought Bitcoin, I'm really into numbers. So this week I can tell you that last episode's poll came in as such. With a shocking, I think this is the lowest percentage anyone's ever gotten. Even Riley has gotten
it's literally
higher
the lowest
percentages than
percentage
this.
you could ever get.
With 1% of the vote in 4th place, we have Buffy and Ben. Brutal. Sorry, Charlie Weber. So sorry. With 5% of the vote, with a mystifying 5% of the vote, we've got The Beast and the Key. All that sweat added up to more tension than Buffy and Ben could muster.
Exactly. I was going to say, it's all about the sweat.
Now, some other people, 34% of the people are starting to show their true colors and letting us know that they would like to see Buffy and William take the crown. But no, Buffy and William are just in 2nd place, putting my girl and also my preferred currency, money. That's Anya and Money in 1st place with 60% of the vote.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
All right, Jenny, everybody wants to get into this episode, so let's get through a couple more things, namely, and first, some spooky news. All right, Jenny, are you ready for this one?
Wait, let me just make sure my airway is clear, just in case you're about to say bats.
It's not about bats. It's not technically about skeletons. It is about Disney World. This is a story that it's older. It's on Thrillist in October of 2018, but I didn't learn about it until one of our listeners, Sarah May, sent it in. The title of the article says it all. The title is People Keep Scattering Human Ashes at Disney World and Custodians Are Not Pleased.
No,
yo.
no, human ashes are like Chunky.
Well, they're all over
rude.
Disney World. According to the custodial staff, human ash has been discovered all across the park territory, in the flower beds, on the Pirates of the Caribbean installation, in the moat beneath the Dumbo ride, and, Jenny, with the highest frequency through the Haunted Mansion attraction.
Of course. Well, that's where you have the greatest cover with which to, under which to scatter the ashes of your loved ones.
So apparently this is like one of the most known, quote, secrets of being a custodian at Disney World, which is that in addition to cleaning up the park of things you'd expect, like probably hot dog wrappers and, I don't know, Mickey Mouse stickers, you're also cleaning up human remains. So the next time you're in Disney World, take a deep breath in, everybody. That's not glitter.
No.
It's humans. Okay, that's been your spooky news.
Really tough to say anything after what you just told me, but hey, we've got some upcoming Patreon events just in case you want to get in on these. Want to let you know we've got a Buffy watch of Fool for Love coming up on December 21st. Then we've got a Buffy watch of Scream 2 coming up on January 11th. Then we've got a Jenny concert. Jenny Owen Young sings the Buffering the Vampire Slayer songbook on February 22nd. Those are all open to every level of Patreon. And we also just dropped a mailbag for our $10 a month and higher subscribers last week. Yes. So
the mailbag was really great. It might be my favorite episode of our podcast.
yes, and it contains yet another incredible story about Mark Blucas, which you don't want to miss.
Truly. Okay. Last but certainly not least, we wanted to talk to you about our episode transcriptions. This is actually related to Patreon. Because of your support on Patreon, we're able to do a lot of things, right? We're able to like fly to places and do interviews. We're able to make you better songs and do more research and make this podcast all of the wonderful things that it is. But another thing that we were able to do is actually put a budget in place to pay for transcriptions starting in season 5 and moving forward. You know that we've been doing transcriptions because you're all incredible and you've been volunteering and organizing. JD, who was the person who organized you transcribers way back in the day, is the person that we hired. So JD now is doing those transcriptions. We're able to pay JD to do those transcriptions. And it means that when the episodes in season 5 go up, those transcriptions usually go up within 24 hours of the episode dropping. So we are more accessible now than we've ever been. We're really, really excited about it. It's because of your support. And we have 26 old episodes from seasons past. So we're looking to gather 5 human beings on a volunteer. We have some great like reward packages for these 5 volunteers. We're looking to get 5 people to transcribe 5 episodes. That's 5 by 5 if you did the math. By January 15th. Those volunteers will be getting 2 tickets to Prom 2020, or if you aren't able to be in New York this year and you want to hang on, you can get 2 tickets to any future live taping of ours. You have to get yourself to the city, but we'll give you 2 tickets. You also get any t-shirt you want from the store, any sweatshirt you want from the store, 4 enamel pins, and any of the screen printed posters from season 5. You pick one and we'll sign them for you, and that's all included in what you're doing and volunteering. And once that's done, every single episode of our podcast will be transcribed, and they'll all be done moving forward, as we talked about. If you want to learn more, if you want to learn how to be one of those 5 volunteers, go to bufferingthevampireslayer.com/transcriptions. That's also where you can find all of the episodes that are transcribed up till now. So thank you to those of you who have volunteered. Thank you to JD for organizing everything. Thank you to the patrons for allowing this to be possible. And hell yeah, to finishing our transcription project.
Yeah, I'd like to second that. Hell yeah. And from all of us here at Buffering the Vampire Slayer, we want to say thank you to you, our extended chosen family. And if you're celebrating a holiday this week, we hope you have a good one and that it's safe and warm and positive.
Yeah, Jenny, I think you've done it again. We have this episode about chosen family to kind of kick off the holiday season for so many of us. And I know that so many of you are going to be celebrating with family, chosen and otherwise. And for some, it will be difficult. For some, it will be wonderful. And for many, it will be both of those things at the same time. So when you get to the end of the episode today and you're listening to the song, try to imagine the thousands of people who are listening to it with you, because we're all part of your chosen family, and we love you all so much. And we'll see you back here in a couple weeks with our live taping of Fool for Love. But for now, let's fucking get some Kate Leth.
Hell yeah. Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Buffering the Vampire Slayer, a podcast where we are watching and discussing every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer one at a time in chronological order, spoiler free. I am Jenny Owen Youngs.
And I am Kristin Russo, and this week we're talking about Season 5, Episode 6, Family. Stay tuned at the end of this podcast every other week for an original song written by Jenny Owen Youngs, sitting right next to me.
Hello.
Recapping the Buffy episode we are discussing. If you have not started listening to Angel on Top, it rules. It goes in tandem with us. It's hosted by Brittany Ashley and Laura Zach, and it's about Angel, if you didn't guess.
Family was written and directed by Joss Whedon and originally aired on November 7th, 2000.
Wow, I didn't do my research. I didn't even know until right now that it was written and directed by Joss Whedon. We'll get there. This is the one where when relatives arrive in Sunnydale to celebrate her birthday, Tara uses a magical spell on her friends to keep them from learning her, quote, secret. Meanwhile, a demon we are referring to as Strong Blonde currently unleashes a horde of demons to hunt down Buffy. This is also the one where Kate fucking Leth is in the room with us.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. You look great.
Thank you. I tried to wear my best strong blonde outfit as a natural strong blonde who lives a strong magenta lifestyle. Here I am.
Oh, Kate, it's always so wonderful to have you with us.
And so wonderful to have the gang back together.
Now, people don't know this, but we're recording this way in advance
Yes.
because we wanted to all be in the same room together. And so that means that it's only been a couple of days since Philadelphia was stunned by your Buffy fashion watch video. I still feel a bit verklempt about
I haven't listened to the episode yet, but I want to just to hear the reaction.
You have to listen because we did something very special right at the end of your fashion watch.
Oh my gosh.
for
Okay.
you.
I'm going to, I will have heard it by now and I'm going to say, oh my God, amazing. So good. Yeah, that was very, very exciting and something where over the course of about 5 hours, I want to say I transformed my webcam and my computer laptop into a studio using all of the photo equipment that I own.
Nothing but the absolute best from
Yes,
you know? We were like, how about a video? And you were like, here's 47 costume changes, professional lighting and makeup.
There were only 6 costume changes.
Only 6.
One got scrapped. It was too much. If you can possibly imagine.
Impossible to
can't.
conceive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So, Kate, you picked this episode.
I did.
We were like, Kate, whatever episode you desire shall be yours. And you were like, family.
Yeah.
So do you want to start macro and talk about like this episode and why you picked it?
Yeah, because I love to cry. I love to come on because what was the one we did last season was a bit of a cry episode. I like the ones that have intense feelings.
Yeah.
And I like the Willow and Tara episodes.
Yes.
Oh, why?
I know. How come? So impossible. I love this one. It always makes me cry every time I watch it.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of episodes that I have become sort of desensitized to because I've seen them 100 times. But this one gets me every time. I was rewatching the end of it while doing my makeup. And had to take a
Bad
pause.
timing.
Yeah. Yes, because I was like, not waterproof mascara. Okay. No, wait.
Yeah, I'm like, even waterproof mascara might not be waterproof if you're crying actively while applying.
Yeah, not enough. So I don't know. I just think it's really beautiful. It's the episode where, Tara's sort of finally welcomed into the group where she kind of finds her place and is cemented and seeing found families are just like my whole deal. So, it's a good one. And the analogy is so over the top,
Dude.
but I love it.
It is. It's over the top and perfect. Like I love
Those
it
hands
too.
are heavy.
All right. Well, let's jump in at the top, shall we?
Well, feels like only yesterday we were talking about where's Miss Kitty Fantastico been? all these many episodes. Here she is.
Jenny texted me frantic, like, thank God, Miss Kitty Fantastico is back.
She's so important.
Yeah.
She's so important and so cute and so little.
She's so little. Still, she's so little. It seems like she
must be like a runt or something, right?
Oh, the runt of the litter.
Been around for a while, but she's still tiny and like all
and
floof.
floofy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a sweet opening scene because it's like, you know, when we're seeing more of it this season, that we're getting this domestic kind of love between Tara and Willow, and that like Tara's in her cute little boxers and Willow's wearing like pink leopard pajamas.
It's so cute. And I just even rewatching it now, identifying so much with Willow in this scene when she's just like, tell me a cute story. That's fine. I don't have to be snuggled. I was like, oh man, Colin has heard that a time or two. Also would die for the way Tara says vixen.
Oh my God, seriously. You
so cute.
Vixen for cuddles. Also, there's a line in this scene, in this opening scene, that just tickled me in the way that the like Wicca queerdom parallel always gets me, that like fucking Tara says to Willow, do you mind if I keep the light on? I was going to look up some spells. Okay.
It's like, sure.
Yeah.
Sure you were.
Like the gayest line of all. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I just have some spells to look up, so I have to leave the bedroom light on.
Mm-hmm.
Also, she like says she wants to look up spells because she wants to like feel useful and she wants to keep up with Willow, but then like 2 seconds later is like, I'll just turn out the light and spoon you.
And we get the incredibly sweet exchange of her saying, I never feel useful. And then Willow says, you're essential.
Yes. And we talked about this a little bit actually in episode 2, where like Tara was using Dawn as her like, what do you call it? Proxy? Where she was like, Dawn feels really left out. Dawn feels, whatever. And part of it was genuine, but this is really the first time that we're hearing Tara give voice directly to like, I feel left out. I feel like I'm not important in this group.
Also, just like for this episode and sort of through the rest of this season, I love every time Tara and Dawn interact. I have a lot of feelings about Dawn. I have a lot of feelings about Dawn that have evolved as I have evolved and grown.
Well, I want to hear them. Can we hear your thoughts on Dawn? It's not like we get to talk to you every week about as the Dawn progresses.
Yeah, I hated her, like capital H, when I was younger, but I also didn't like Buffy as much when I was younger, and Willow was my only girl that, well, and Tara obviously. There are a lot. Never mind. No, that sentence is not true at all. You're like, everyone's like Dawn. Because there's Anya, and there's everyone. No, she drove me nuts. It was just, she was such a poochie, right? And I'm sure you have talked about this. Poochie is the thing. Okay, it's on The Simpsons, and it's like a writer term where like that's a character that's introduced for no reason, just to appeal to a younger audience because your characters have aged up and your audience is aged up. They do it on an episode of The Simpsons where they're like, it's Poochie, the dog, and he shows up and like he's cool and he's got sunglasses and all this kind of stuff. And that is always how Dawn felt to me. It's like, why is she here? Right. For a younger audience. And I loved Harriet the Spy. Nothing against Michelle Trachtenberg, but I did not like her. And now as an older person who has empathy, I'm like, no, I get it. I get where she's coming from. Some of her storylines are a little irritating, but there are some really sweet moments. And again, every interaction she has with Tara is great.
It's so sweet.
There's just a few of them, but they're always really, really sweet. So when you're watching, like, look out for those and just imagine me being like, yeah.
I know. I'm on that side of the fence. I mean, I watched Buffy for the first time as an adult person. Yeah. So I think that that's probably part of the reason that I didn't hate, because people have just the most venomous hatred for
really
Dawn.
do.
And I never did. I really have a soft spot for Dawn.
Yeah. In my rewatch this time around, I dislike Riley a lot more. Sorry, Jenny. and to have more sympathy for Dawn. So, that's growth, I think.
Things evolve, which is what's fun. Like, we need to all do this again in 20 years and see where we're at.
Yeah.
Who do we like now?
We only Giles.
Only and still Giles. So after this scene in Tara and Willow's bedroom, we go to the Summers living room. And this is like a really powerful scene too. Just the proximity with which Giles and Buffy are sitting to each other like conveys like intimacy, but like emergency, like when something is really, really wrong. That's the only time you would ever sit like this close to somebody with like their relationship. They don't want anybody to overhear them. And this is like real.
Yeah, and the lighting is very intentional in this. It's very dark. It's very like you can't, it's it weirdly reminded me of the scene in Dexter where it's like you go back to Dexter's childhood and it's his dad being like, so you killed that dog next door. Guess I'm going to teach you to murder. And it like, as it gets further and further into the scene and they're getting more explicit about, how he's going to teach his kid how to murder.
Wow.
Look. Anyway, but it does that same kind of thing where the characters get darker and darker and like they're lit sort of from behind, which is very, the emphasis is so much on that their conversation is dark, their conversation is troubled and difficult. And I really like that. Buffy doesn't always do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it and I noticed it more in this scene because it is like intense.
Yeah.
And, only these two know. Only Giles and Buffy know.
Right, and that's kind of what we learn in this scene is that they're going to keep this a secret from everyone.
Yeah.
Which does seem like a good call in terms of, especially with Willow. We know how Willow can't make it 2 feet keeping a secret or like keeping her shit together when she knows something. So I do think it's important. Like, I think I would have made the same decision to keep it, but it is a big secret to carry.
Yeah. The dawn is the key. I don't know if we said specifically that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, right. Yes, dawn is key.
Yes.
And we found out at the end of last episode and Buffy has told just Giles.
Yeah.
So we also get like a little bit more of a dimension here with the with how much sort of like memory world building the monks were able to fit into this whole situation. Buffy remembers Dawn crying for a week when their parents split up.
Yeah.
But like that, of course, didn't happen.
And that's like a traumatic thing.
Yeah.
Like and I think they do a good job of like kind of underlining how traumatic that is. Like their memories have been fucked with.
Yeah.
And also on top of that, what the fuck, Mr. Summers?
I know.
Yeah.
I was rewatching this being like, oh man, I do love that they took a moment to be like, hey, Buffy's dad still sucks.
Yeah.
still sucks a lot.
I didn't call back that Joyce is like sick. What the fuck?
Relatable.
God, it's real shitty.
It is real shitty. That is also a thing I appreciate as an adult now. As a person with a shitty dad. It's like watching that happen and it's like that is so background to everything else that's happening. But that's really traumatic. It's like, I'm also dealing with demons. I'm also dealing with this unknown demon that's coming in. I just found out my sister's not real. Also, my dad has like run off to Spain with his secretary. That's like a footnote. So, it really underlines and sets up, as this season does really well, like how much of the weight of the world that Buffy is carrying.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, totally.
I told you I love to cry.
I know. As I was watching this episode, I was like, this is the one that Kate picked.
And speaking of the weight of the world, the next thing we see is strong blonde standing up from amidst a building's worth of rubble.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, with her beautiful line delivery. Okay, now I'm upset.
I love her. I really didn't the first time around. But the same way as the first time around, I didn't like Cordelia. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, she's amazing.
Yeah.
She's so amazing.
And it's really fun to watch the fight scenes between these two. Like that there are, that there's this very strong demon foe who's tossing Buffy and this is really the first time that we've seen how strong this character is, but it's just fun that they're both like super femme, super tiny, and just kicking a lot of ass.
It's great. It's great.
So back to school. You think in the next scene, or at least I did, like, oh, we're going back to school, and they're moving Buffy in, but they're not moving Buffy in. They're moving Buffy out.
Yeah.
Yep. And I really, really love Anya in this part.
Oh my
God. She's just like, keeps being like, how fun. We're doing this again after we just moved you in.
Yeah. Anya hasn't picked up on all of the nuances of being a human, but fucking sarcasm she's got.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I love her in this scene. And it's just great.
Also, in this scene, we get Giles literally saying that he wants to be the patriarchal figure.
Oh yeah, I wrote that down too.
I was like, have they ever said this word out loud in the show?
So
we have to give an honorary jingle to Giles for actually speaking it in the show.
The patriarchy!
In addition to Giles saying the word patriarchy, Xander and Riley Russell. I was wondering, Jenny, if you had any thoughts on that.
Hot. Hot. Did somebody say body French farce?
That really got me, that line. I got a guffaw.
Also, like, Buffy kind of references that she's doing this because Joyce hasn't been well, but we have to imagine that this has at least as much to do with Dawn as it does with Joyce. That Buffy doesn't want to be at school. She wants to be home, guarding the fortress.
Yes, totally. Which is an ongoing theme in this whole episode, right? She's just like, where is Dawn? Dawn, you cannot go over to hang out with, what's her friend's name?
Melinda?
Sounds like a troublemaker to me.
Do you think that Melinda's Pat's daughter? Like, do you think? Sorry for your loss, Melinda.
That would be incredible.
You know, I was just wondering if they were of the same neighborly home.
That entire exchange is so gold. It's like kids these days are like experimenting with shortness. You really got to nip that in the bud.
So anyhow, they're moving Buffy back into the house, and we get this wrestling scene, which is great. But we also get this, I think they hit it 3 times in the episode, the joke that Tara tries to explain. She delivers it.
Reflection.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yes. It's very good.
You learn her source, and we'll introduce her to her insect reflection. That was funny. If you studied Tagler and mythic rites, and are a complete dork.
I mean, and it's sad in this first iteration because she's already feeling left out, and she says, you know, whatever about insect reflection, and nobody laughs, and then she walks outside and she just goes stupid.
No.
Yeah. Who hasn't been there?
Nobody.
Who hasn't felt like that?
Oh, I've certainly felt like that. It's just so sad to watch Tara feel like that.
Of course it is. Of course. But you have to set that up for the sort of progression of the story.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yes, we have to see her being sad so we can see her triumphant at the end. And we learn that it's Tara's birthday.
Yes.
Or almost Tara's birthday.
And Willow has arranged for a party that no one remembers.
Yeah. This is kind of rough, right?
It is.
The way that they talk about, I don't know if we're going there next, but the way that Xander and Buffy talk about Tara.
It's a little off to me because it's like, I mean, I get it. They don't really know her, but the way they sort of talk about her, that like she's not really welcome, and I don't know. There's just like there's something strange about it to me because it's like I don't feel like Buffy would do that, and I don't know.
It might make more sense like sometime last season.
Yeah.
This is like what are we doing? It's been a while.
No, the episode I mean, look, it's like a movie's worth of character development that they shove into one episode, and so the turnaround definitely feels like a little sped up, but you know, you sort of have to, I guess, for this one. So I get it.
But if we're to believe that this is, oh yes, Jenny. Jenny raised her hand.
No.
Please, Jenny.
Please tell us what's on your mind.
What's on my mind is the next. There's just a quick scene that's coming next. Paging Dr. Ben, take your scrubs off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a really important scene. You're right, because Dr. Ben is with us.
Jenny's hand is gripping the
piano. Is this a rival hunk? Is that what we're to believe?
I mean, he's doing a great job. He's holding it down. And
he does have more than one ab, I will say that.
Yeah, there's a whole you could grate cheese on those things. And we see him take off his scrub shirt, toss it in his locker, and then the camera kind of pans, and then we see this sort of like rotting snake clown demon guy.
That's an accurate description.
Yeah.
Right? Slinking along, sticking its horrifying black tongue out.
Oof.
Yeah.
It's bad. I haven't been that upset about a mouth since The Master.
And we're so worried about what's going to happen to Ben and his beautiful abs. But then just then...
I was like,
probably.
Probably.
But then who should appear to prevent this rotting snake demon from getting into Ben's business but Strong Blonde, who needs a favor?
In case it's not clear to you, we are calling this character Strong Blonde. This is her name. Okay.
Until further notice.
Until further notice.
And we had to confer about that before we started. And I was like, no, I watched it with the subtitles on, and they called her female demon in brackets. So But strong blonde is funny. Although I am going to say strong bad by accident at least once. And I'm sorry in advance.
No apologies necessary. So we go to the magic box.
Anya is so good at capitalism.
She's so good at capitalism.
Oh my God.
One of my favorite things they ever did for a character on that show was give Anya a job in retail.
Yes.
Because it's like, she's great. She's so great. She's always a treat to watch. But this is like, when they, in the writer's room, I can only imagine them being like, wait, what if we got her into capitalism? No, it's so good for her.
Oh my God. It's the whole scene opens with her being like, please come back for more purchases. Setting the tone.
It's incredible.
And she's so excited. She has a place in the world. She's a working gal. She refers to herself as a working gal.
Wow, this is how capitalism sows its evil seeds. It creates a structure that makes you think you need it to feel good in the world and feel useful and like you have a purpose. Lo, this is not the podcast for dissecting capitalism, especially.
Please check out our merch.
That's the true hell math, isn't it,
The thing that
Jenny?
I really love about it that I only kind of really realized on the rewatch this time is that it also does the job of showing that Anya, who was a latecomer to the group, has a place. You know, she has this job. She's working for Giles. She's part of the group and integrated in multiple ways. And that is also a good contrast because if she wasn't, she'd be more like Tara in that way. And so I thought that was that was clever.
Well, and I'm interested and I'm going to talk about why soon, but I got in trouble in the premiere for not playing the Hell Math jingle when I was supposed to play the Hell Math jingle. We were talking about capitalism and Anya, so please, can we play the Hell Math jingle for all the people at home who are mad I didn't do it?
Cha-ching.
Hell Math.
Okay, so what I'm interested in about what you just brought up, Kate, is the parallel a bit between like Anya and Tara. They were not part of the original Scooby Gang. This is how Anya's feeling her place. Because a larger question that I have a couple in this episode, but one is Anya is a demon. I mean, she's at least an ex-demon. She's fully accepted into the gang. Everybody knows this about her.
Yeah.
So I wonder, like, why for Tara, and I know there's a lot more there, but like, why for Tara, at least that specific bit, like, that she thought that this piece of her would cause her expulsion or whatever.
Yeah, I think maybe she doesn't fully understand Anya's demonness. I mean, maybe she wasn't around. She wasn't around for that. Like,
she wasn't.
Anya was already part of the group when she sort of got into it, so she maybe doesn't really realize. And Anya's an ex-demon, not a current demon.
Right.
And plus, she's had like a certain idea about what she is drilled into her head since she was a baby.
Yeah, and then I think probably is the core of it that obviously the I'm a demon and I don't want you to know is the theme that we've seen on Buffy. We saw it in a super big plot line in Angel season 1 with Doyle.
Yes.
And so I know that the metaphor is there, but I was just like, okay, but there is already a demon in the group. She's ex.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, she's ex-demon and, again, has a job, you know.
Yeah, she has a place.
Functioning, contributing members to society. What is the thing she says? Anyway, it's very good. So, it is a little bit, like, I don't entirely know why she wouldn't have told them, but they do kind of hammer home that she does feel like an outsider to begin with, you know. And there's the whole gay thing.
And there's the whole gay thing.
You know,
and that, like, even hearing you just describe it, it's
Yeah.
like the amount of human beings that I know who have not told people that they know full well would be like, I love you, I still care for you, like, your queerness is not something that would ever make me reject you, and have not still told them about their queerness because of the inexplicable fear that even though you have those facts, when you disclose that you yourself are queer, somehow those rules will change.
Because it also becomes real in a way that, like, there are a lot of people who are accepting in theory.
Yes.
And then when it's their kid or partner or friend, it's like, oh, now it's real and now it affects my life. And and so I understand the fear. And they're playing that really hard in this episode. It's like, you know, she's the outsider because she's Willow's girlfriend. Like, Anya fits into this heterosexual role in the, you know, it's easier for her to integrate, but they're also like, Willow being gay is new, Tara is new. It's this whole thing where they don't know how to act yet.
Yeah.
And even though they love her and accept her in theory, you know, they don't know what they're doing.
And something that we'll, I think, probably dig into a little bit more at the end, but I think fits with this conversation is also not only that she's afraid of, like, disclosing her queerness / demonness, but she's also, I think, afraid of disclosing who her family is and
Yeah.
what kind of people they are. And I think that's super resonant for times
Yup.
we live in now.
Mhm.
But we can dig into that when we get. That's all the way at the end. I'm getting excited. Kate, I feel like Kate's here so we can like we get to break our format.
I try not to skip ahead.
I know it's me. I'm being bad. What else happens in this scene? Anything that we need to discuss?
Giles is like, what's strong blonde like? And Buffy's like, well,
Yes.
she's kind of like Cordelia, which accurate.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yep.
amazing.
Also, nobody knows. Everyone's sitting in a magic shop, and nobody knows what to get Tara for her birthday.
Well, so
Y'all.
Also, they have this like, oh no, poor straight people conversation,
Yeah.
Xander and Buffy, where they're like, do you think there'll be a lot of other Wiccas?
Yeah.
Do you think we'll fit in? I hope so.
I love it so much because it's like to look at Willow. They don't have a ton of friends. It's not like you're gonna meet a whole parade.
Right.
It's gonna be like 4 people, maybe.
Like, who have you ever seen Willow and Tara spending time with besides Buffy, Xander, Anya, and Giles?
Yeah, it's their first gay relationship. They are only together.
Yeah.
You know?
But they don't know. They don't know. Is this, if
Yeah.
you're listening and you are straight,
I'm sorry.
does it come on over
It
to our
gets better.
side? But
Please-
no,
please
I would
buy
like
some
to
merch.
hear. Is this the thing? When your friends come out to you, are you worried that you'll go to their gathering and be the only straight person there? I mean, that would be true if you came to my gathering.
I feel like now it's a thing with like, you know, because people sort of mostly know what to do about gay people. Bi people and ace people, you know, are a little bit more on the edge. Trans
Mhm.
people, a lot of people don't know what to do or how to react to that, even in the gay community.
Yeah.
So, you know, what that metaphor is, I feel like has changed a little bit.
Mm.
But it does kind of work where it's like you want to be supportive, but are you going to be the weird, overly supportive ally?
Right. Are you going to
Like,
say
you
the
know.
wrong thing?
Yeah.
Are you going to, yeah. So Buffy needs to work off some tension. She scuttles on over to Spike's lair. Well, we think, because the next scene is Buffy punching Spike. But boy, does it take a turn.
Before it takes a turn, I just want to call attention, as feels like now it's my calling upon the podcast. There's a move.
Oh yeah, I wrote it for you actually.
Thank you.
Yes, the wrestling expert, Jenny.
There's a move that I have not been able to find the name of, but it's sort of similar to the tilt-a-whirl head scissor takedown,
Mm-hmm.
but it's less involved. It's more of a direct and less of a circular motion.
Right.
So she gets her legs around his neck
Yeah.
and flips him directly over.
Right.
Forward. If anybody knows the name of this particular move or any notable wrestlers who have used it specifically as a finishing move, please write in.
This
Let
is
us know.
actually this is just scissoring.
No. I've seen that. There are videos on the internet, and that's not what it looks like.
Taking a deep dive into Jenny's private browser. But yeah, so this quickly, I'm glad that there wasn't like cheesy porn music behind this stream, but I wanted it a little bit. If anyone wants to make us that, we're here for it.
My favorite thing about this is that Spike's not winning.
Spike's not trying to win.
Like they're fighting, but I mean Spike in his heart of hearts, I think, is a bottom when it comes to Buffy. So, you know,
yeah.
I love that. I love that it's like in his sex fantasy, she's beating him up.
Yeah.
Like, great.
Yeah,
Good,
his sex fantasies
perfect.
are all like him pretending he's gonna dominate and then being like, ooh.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh,
oh no,
no,
I got
what
beat
will
up.
I do?
I can't believe Joss Whedon wrote this one.
And the Kate!
Sorry.
Oh God, we're
I'm
really...
not part of the main cast. I can be rude.
So the scene really takes a pivot on Buffy's line. She says, "Oh, I'm coming right now," and then we cut, of course, to the fact that he is having sex, and he is having sex with harm.
And she's calling him her little lamb.
Her little lamb.
So weird.
Speaking of him being a bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, he likes those pet names. Okay, so that happens.
It's great.
It's pretty great. And we find out that Giles has gotten Tara a crystal ball. Yes. And you know what I want? A crystal ball.
Yeah, now that the idea has been introduced to my consciousness as something that I could possess.
Right?
I'm interested.
There's lots of places in LA you can get them.
Crystal balls, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. House of Intuition? They
yes,
probably
I was
have
literally
it.
going to say that. I was there like last week and, 2 months ago. And they do have crystal balls in there. And yeah.
This is not an ad for House of Intuition, but it is, I guess.
It's great.
Yeah. It's a good place. So Giles gets a crystal ball for Tara, we find out. And then we meet Donnie McClay, I believe. His name is Donnie, who's played by Kevin Rankin. Who's, Yes, Jenny.
This family, this whole crew.
Yeah.
We have Kevin Rankin, who was in Friday Night Lights and Breaking Bad and Justified.
He's in fucking everything.
Yeah.
He's in Lost, in an episode of Lost.
Right, true.
Yeah. And in a second, we're going to see fucking Amy Adams.
Amy Adams!
Fine. And then the dad is played by Steve Rankin, who may or may not be related.
They're not. I actually did the dig on this.
I did a dig and
ago.
I couldn't get like a solid confirmation one way or the other.
Now I'm doubting myself.
I would have been able to make an amazing Rankin family joke that would have played so well in East Coast Canada. Shout out. If you're there and you just left, I love you.
Oh my God. This is quite a family. It's also incredible that Amy Adams is in this episode.
It's so good.
Bananas.
And every single time someone brings it up or like, because I did a Twitter thread a little while ago, this thing that way more people ended up responding to than I was expecting, where I was like, what's your favorite guest spot of someone who later became famous?
Right.
You know, and so you see them in like a really weird role. And there were some incredible ones. It was so funny. Took up my entire day. But a lot of people brought up Amy Adams, and every single time I was be like, she says bitch.
Oh my God, I love when she turns.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's like, no, people rarely ever say that word on Buffy, and she does, and it's like one of her 10 lines in the episode.
Yeah.
It's just very special to me.
Cousin Beth.
Amy Adams says bitch.
So we meet the brother first, and he has this fucking energy.
And this fucking beard.
Right?
Ugh.
The whole thing is so recognizable.
Yeah.
Like, you all know exactly how to respond to this human being based on your experience
like,
in the world.
Finish pumping your gas and leave.
Yeah, get out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Do not engage
Get
with
back
this
on the
guy.
highway.
Yup.
And you see them all very subtly clocking it.
Yup.
Just like, so y'all witches, don't do a spell on me now. It's like this menacing energy.
So we go from this like weird straight allies overcompensating, trying to be good, but also not doing it right, to like full on bigot.
Yes.
Which is also a good, to show the contrast.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
good.
solid
But
point.
yeah, he sucks.
Ooh, yes. Tara and Willow walk in. This is the second time we get the joke brought up. Tara is
Confirmation
like, so would I?
from Willow. Hilarious show.
Hilarious, Willow.
You nailed
Loves
it, Tara.
I get you, baby.
It's perfect.
And then this is like really awful because you see the look on Tara's face of like, fuck. And also there's like two things happening. You feel super bad for Tara in the scene because you're like, oh no, this is bad for her. But you feel so bad for Willow.
Yeah.
Who's like trying to process in real time that she's in love with this woman who has this entire history that she has never heard a word about.
Uh-huh.
And she doesn't, get acknowledged or introduced, which is like,
Yes.
of course.
She introduces Giles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get it, but also that adds an extra layer of like, wow.
And this
Yeah.
is one of those like experiences as a younger queer person that I remember. I mean, I wasn't aware that I was internalizing it at the time. And it's only looking back that I remember just accepting that I wouldn't be introduced in certain moments.
Yeah.
And now, I'm so much more aware. I'm so much more out and loud and all these things. But this is a moment that maybe if you haven't lived that experience, you don't understand that that's a blow for Willow.
Yeah. And it totally, like, if I were in Willow's shoes, it's like, you understand. Like, she's dealing with so much and had this thing sort of put, like, I feel like everyone in that room can empathize with Tara, and no one's going to be like, I can't believe you didn't introduce me when your dad was outing you as a demon.
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah.
I get it, but, this is me, like, reading too much into it.
Yeah, no, but it's
something
lot.
you would know nothing about
Yeah.
on season 5.
So they're going to go to dinner. Well, they're not, but you think they are.
Also, have you ever heard, a lot of people who refer to their cousin as cousin so-and-so?
Cousin Beth, I know.
Cousin Beth.
Clearly just be like, this is not Tara's sister, but we don't want to like spend the time expositing that, so we'll just name her Cousin Beth.
Yep. Yep, I clocked that. I was like, okay, sure.
Last name Beth, first name cousin.
Yeah.
Very, like, it always feels so sad when you're writing something and you have to do that. It's a thing in comics a lot, especially, well, in shows. You have to name someone within, like, the first scene that they're in. And a lot of the time it's like, there's no comfortable, natural way to do it. So you have to be like, oh, you've always been like this, brother. Or like, it's really awkward, but sometimes it's like, we just got to get to the next scene.
Yeah. So let's go to the next scene.
Speaking of,
I just feel like I look at Jenny. For the listeners at home, I'm looking pointedly at Jenny.
It's time for a little more context.
I squared away the rest of your stuff. Wouldn't even know you ever left.
You're a god. You're like the god of boyfriends.
Nah, I just like it when you owe me favors.
Well, this earns you a big favor. There could be outfits.
Oh, be still my heart.
There's gonna be outfits.
That's really the moment I was.
Well, I've
fishing
seen
for.
some other videos on the internet where there are outfits.
I wrote down like 6 notes from this episode because I was like, I know this. But I did write down there might be outfits.
There for it.
Yeah.
I'm not there for a lot of Riley Buffy, but I'm there for role playing.
Let's just
Riley
really
Buffy.
quick
Who do you think
brainstorm.
wears the outfit?
Well, I think maybe they both wear outfits, and what are they?
What are they?
I don't know.
Because if they're putting it like it's like they're not going to go like military,
G.I. Joe and G.I. Jane, Spider-Man and Spider-Woman.
Jenny's put some thought into this.
No, these are just flying off the top of my head.
Because there's no way that he's gonna wear an outfit that like emasculates him in any way at all. Because he's very,
But
very
maybe he would go
insecure in
like
his
farmer. Maybe he would go Farmer Finn.
Or maybe like
Ooh.
Tarzan and like a...
Oh, I like Farmer Finn and like Big City Girl.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's fun.
Urban Slayer.
Yes.
Oh my God, I'm sorry for slapping my knees.
Coming to town to like take care of some local thick vampires. It's like, ooh, look at her. She has a pencil skirt.
Yes, and she's like, I didn't realize you could ever get corn this cheap.
Oh my God.
You can
The
take
ears
it
are
from
so
there.
big. One time...
Kate's in the house, everybody. We go hard for Kate,
One time I was visiting my home in rural New Jersey with my ex-girlfriend Kathy, and I was like just out of college, and we went to a produce stand to get ears of corn to roast corn.
I'm gonna edit porn music underneath this.
And we asked the farm stand lady. We said, like, we've never picked out corn before, because look at us. And how do you know if it's a good one? And I swear to God, she picked up an ear of corn, like hefted it and kind of like thwapped it against her hand and was like, the texture should be like, well,
Oh my God.
Oh
my God.
I can't believe there's a better story related to corn than I have, and not the band.
What is your corn story? Fuck, I don't have one.
We should just dub this episode Cornography.
God damn it.
No, mine is not. It's just that they're in my small hometown. Every time it was corn season, our grocery stores would always inexplicably, like, I don't know who was causing the problem, but I was fascinated by it. Inexplicably have like 46 signs that were like, "Do not husk the corn," like on every display of corn, and they were like printed off like clearly, and they kept it. There were so many. If anyone lived in Halifax, Nova Scotia, between like 2007 and 2015, it was just every season. It would just make me laugh so hard. But
you gotta buy the corn first, take it home, set up your webcam, and then you can husk it.
Yep. I'm gonna take it to dinner first.
I'm excited that your cornography got the word thwap in it.
Yes.
Also,
but that's incredible.
This is jumping ahead, but I cannot possibly sit here and hear you talk about thwapping corn on your palm without skipping to the scene where fucking Tara's dad is in the goddamn
I
room.
suppose you wanted me to see all these toys. He says, hefting a crystal exactly the size, shape, length, girth of a dildo.
This is the only part I screen capped. Because I was like, if we don't bring it up,
Oh my
I'm going
God.
to start a riot.
Jenny texted me literally immediately, and I was like, yep, got it.
I had totally forgotten that part because I remembered him being in the room and being like, I can't believe like you left all your witch stuff out. But it's like, that's a dildo, sir.
It's really a real specific choice.
It is wild.
Oh my God. Okay.
Imbuing your lover with the power of Hecate from within.
I mean, they do make
Wow.
crystal dildos, so you know.
Yeah.
it's
Do
just a thing.
they?
Yes.
And do you need to charge them in the light of a full moon, or
That's optional.
okay?
Depends on how much fun you want to have.
Sure.
Exactly.
Oh my God. All right. Let's
Sorry.
see where the hell we
Okay,
even
all
are.
right, let's hose Kate
is-
down and then continue.
Kate?
It's not just
I do
me.
not think it is just Kate. Okay, so this all stemmed from Buffy and Riley and their outfits.
Hell yeah!
Come on. It's great.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And this is, we already talked about Melinda, and Riley is pissed. Riley takes a turn. He goes right from outfits to being like, so what the fuck is up? Why aren't, like, because he can tell that Buffy is being super overprotective of Dawn, and he's like, you need to tell me what's up, and she won't. And he's like, I'm fucking out of here because you
Yeah.
won't share your secrets with me.
Which is iffy.
Yeah,
I
it's walking the
do-
line. It's walking the line.
Yeah, because I'm on his side about her being weird about Dawn going to her friend's house. Because it's like,
Right.
yes, she is being like absurdly overprotective. But then when he's just like, oh my God, when he walks out and he's like, you know, tell me when you're ready and I'll come running. And then he just like walks out and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Woof.
Passive aggressive.
No kidding.
There has been a build though in recent episodes.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. It's just a little like, whoo.
Well, and that's the
Yeah.
thing. We're seeing like the Riley who is secure, and isn't this true for all of us? But Riley who is secure is able to be like, hey, I've got your back. I'm here for you. I trust you.
What if Riley wore scrubs and then he took them off?
Oh my God.
Sorry, I just had this brilliant idea and I had to interrupt you to
He
share
had
it.
to borrow them from Ben and then Ben just didn't have anything to
Oh my God.
yeah.
People are going to be like, so why is this episode 3 hours? And we're like, Cornography.
Why is it labeled NC-17? I didn't even think podcasts could do that.
Oh, okay. So the next scene is the one with the toys in the bedroom. So I wasn't even that far off.
Nope.
And after this hilarious crystal dildo moment, they have a very serious exchange where we find out the core of this episode, which is that her dad has told her that when she turns 20, this is when the demon side takes over. She has to come home with them. She is shameful because she has not been hiding this part of herself, like that she should feel ashamed of these pieces of herself. So we get a lot of things here. And also something that we get is him saying to Tara, you need to come home. And she says, home? And I feel like that's like the first real big thwang of the guitar string that is chosen family. Like she's like, what is home though?
Yeah. Also, it doesn't feel evil. Evil never does.
Yes.
Like,
Insidious.
having
this is like
PTSD
gaslighty
flashes
o'clock.
from my years of going to born again Christian church.
Yeah. And what's sad about Cousin Beth, right? Because like she's really there to set up the effect that this kind of gaslighting can have on a person, because she is so brainwashed that she thinks that Tara is evil and cannot recognize.
Yeah, she just walks
What do you
up wearing a t-shirt that says internalized misogyny.
Yeah.
What if Cousin Beth they take the RV home, Cousin Beth is unpacking and she like pulls out her like many white undergarments and various things in her toiletry bag, and then she's like, what is this 7-inch long obelisk-shaped crystal all about? And then maybe everything starts to take a turn for Cousin Beth.
It's true. It's true. Oh my God.
That's her root. I love
We
it.
could literally have like a fanfic novel come out of this episode, for God's sake.
I'm sure it'll happen whether you want it or not.
It's true. Okay, so Strong Blonde has the clown tongue monster tied up to her incredible closet.
I
Kate?
lost it. I was like, oh, I forgot about her closet. Even though she basically wears the same dress all of the time, iterations of the same dress that are almost always like PVC or pleather or like just body con all the way. It's amazing, but she has a whole giant closet and like very little else. Yes. What else do you need?
Yeah, nothing.
Sorry.
Nothing. Cordelia would be envious of this closet. She's got a lot of big coats over where Clowny is chained up.
Yes.
I wish we got to see this character in more of those coats.
I know.
If I'm being real. She's wearing a pleather or leather dress in this scene.
Yeah. I wasn't sure which one it was.
That seems like a solution to your pleather concern.
Yeah. Whatever it is, it's great. It doesn't have any stretch to it. It looked like, because when she moves, the fabric folds don't stretch. Yeah. So that makes me think it's more on the leather side of things, because pleather is generally stretchy, but it's hard to tell.
I like to egg you on for a little fashion, even when you're here for other purposes. Okay, so this character, I literally cannot get used to calling her
Strong Blonde. Strong Blonde wants the Leok demon to round up some of his Leok buddies and suck the marrow from the bones of the Slayer.
Yes. Yeah. She says before the scene is over, you have the cutest little separating.
It means oozing pus.
Yes, I looked it up.
Oh my God, I always thought it was separating because they were open.
Right.
Huh.
I knew because I had the closed captions on.
Great.
I knew because I was like, separating. Let me Google that.
Yeah.
Very good.
So Willow wants to do this fucking spell again. We saw it in the previous Leon. We didn't talk about that, but there was this time a million years ago, it feels like, when they tried to do this demon locator spell, and we saw Tara toss the dust.
Yep. Finally, a payoff.
I know. At the time, our listeners were like, Kristin, do you really not know why she tosses that dust? And I did not, listener, because I am a goldfish and I forgot. So... anyhow, they have this conversation and Tara's like, I don't think I'm feeling up to this spell. And we're like, oh, that's why. She didn't want to be found out.
She's up to a different spell, though. She's ready to do a whole other spell that involves like blowing some
magical dust. Yes, the color of Kate's hair, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if your hair will be this color in November, Kate, but
I mean, it's been pink for a long time. It's magenta now. Thanks, Overtone.
So yeah, we're like doing safety planning with the Scoobies in the next scene, and Tara's like, whew. You think the mic got that?
Yeah, I think so.
And it causes this spell that means they cannot see demons.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to jump ahead because I would like to ask everyone, if the spell means you can't see a demon, then why the fuck did Spike need to punch Tara in the face? Because they saw Tara.
Well, then we wouldn't have gotten to see Spike punch Tara in the face.
Because she hadn't turned yet. It wasn't her birthday.
It was before.
Yet. This was an anticipatory spell.
Okay.
This is my guess.
Okay.
I mean, the real answer is because the writers needed that to happen. But that's me justifying some maybe sloppy writing. I don't know.
So the demons, unfortunately, that become unseeable are the spooky clown tongue dudes. Yeah. And this reminded me a little bit of Hush, especially when Willow opens the door.
Oh, yeah.
And they're just all like, hello. And she's like,
nobody's here.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
Support for today's episode comes from OneSkin. And if you have sensitive skin, you're going to want to hear about their scientifically proven topical supplements. Free from over 1,500 chemicals and preservatives that can make skin red, irritated, or itchy, their products are safe for sensitive skin. It's just one of the reasons they've earned the Skin Safe seal of approval.
They've also earned the Jenny Owen Youngs and Kristin Russo seal of approval, if I do say so myself, Jenny.
I couldn't agree more. I've been using OneSkin for a few months, and after a few weeks, I remember it like it was yesterday. I texted Kristin and I was like, maybe she's born with it. I looked in the mirror that morning and was like, oh, things are happening, and I am happy.
I have used a million billion skin products, and I did not think that I was going to switch off of the skin like lotion, the moisturizer that I used, and the under eye cream that I use, because I have used them for a little while and I really like them, and I've switched completely, which is a pretty big deal. OneSkin is the world's first Skin longevity company. By focusing on the cellular aspects of aging, OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. Get started today with 15% off using code BUFFERING at oneskin.co. That's 15% off at oneskin.co with code BUFFERING. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them, and if you can, please tell them that we sent you.
As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But we also sell merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell and grow at every stage of your business, from the launch your online shop stage all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. They have an all-in-one e-commerce platform and in-person POS system, so wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. With the internet's best converting checkout, 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms, Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers. Shopify has allowed us to share something tangible with the podcast community we've built here, selling our beanies, sweatshirts, and mugs to fans of our shows without taking up too much time from all the other work we do to bring you even more great content. And it's not just us. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the US. Shopify is also the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Because businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/REALM now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/realm.
Okay, so we're going to get to the invisible demon scene, but there's a couple of important scenes that happen before we get to the invisible demons. One is very visible demons at a bar known as Willie's.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting next to one Riley Finn, who, first of all, it's been named that everyone on the show is 20 years old. And yet...
Well, Riley was a TA, though.
Okay.
You may have forgotten Riley was a TA. Did you know Riley was actually a TA? That means teacher's assistant.
Thank
Usually
you.
It's like a position held by upperclassmen. He's a TA.
You know what you've earned yourself, Jenny?
I'm a TA. I'm Riley.
You've earned yourself the Riley jingle.
Riley, you are kind of like cardboard. Your mansplaining's best to be ignored. No one cares you're a TA, so please go away.
Can't have anything nice around here.
I really love that. This is like a total aside, but I'm playing this video. I've beaten it by now, but in late September, I was playing Fire Emblem Three Houses, which is like a JRPG turn-based RPG game. Very, very anime. It's very anime, and the thing I've been enjoying about its translation more than anything else is that it takes place in like a college school, but no one's age is ever said, and like it comes up a bunch because you are playing a professor who is the same age as the students, and that is spelled out very clearly because you can romance them all. But it keeps being like, how old are you? And you're like, I don't know. And then a character will be like, well, I look younger, but I'm not. And it'll be like, how old are you? As old as you are. And it's like, you are just dancing around this, like, how people get so angry if you ship characters that are minors or whatever, like, you know, or supposedly. And, you know, I'm not even going to get into that whole thing, but I think it's really funny how they do that. And it's like, well, how old are you? Well, how old are you?
How old do you want me to be?
Exactly. Anyway, Riley's a TA.
Riley's a TA, and Riley is now apparently going to Willie's place every night to drink alcohol.
Yeah, Riley is drinking and not fully cavorting, but he's, you know,
he's dabbling,
serving up some wines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he really is. He's sort of showing us a side of himself that we have not seen. I mean, I think this is like just a taste, but it's like a darker side of Riley.
Well, you could tell by the hair gel.
Oh boy.
Dark Riley.
Meanwhile, over at Spike's, there's a whole other situation happening where Spike is like fondling the mannequin when in walks Harmony, who he has a pet name for. He calls her Sweetbreads, which is hilarious. Incredible.
That was great.
So incredible.
You see her give him pet names so many times and he doesn't reciprocate, but it's like, okay, he's sort of stopped fighting that.
Yeah. And like the fact that it's like, in case you don't know, listeners, sweetbreads are not sweet bread. They're not sweet, nor are they bread. They are the pituitary gland of a cow.
Oh, yeah.
I did not know that. It makes perfect sense.
So now it's like in
are
the
you feeling any
eyeballs
different about my invitation to come over for sweetbreads next week?
Honestly, I'm more excited.
Okay, cool.
But it's in the eyeballs to entrails family.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Oh,
it is
very
literally
good.
located between your eyeballs and your entrails.
Oh my God.
Perfect.
And so Harmony has heard these rumors of the Leth demons, these clown tongues, who are out to kill this.
I feel like your abbreviation of my initial naming of the demon like continues to truncate and become more and more obscure.
Well, it seems like that, but I actually refer to them in my notes as clown tongues.
Oh, I see. Carry on.
I love this scene. It is one of my favorites in the whole episode because Harmony's gossiping about with the other vampires. First of all, where is she shopping in Los Angeles at night? Everything here closes.
April Fools.
Yeah. But it like the gossiping with the other vampires, like, you know, it's this guy who was sired by that guy. You remember? And like, I loved that so much.
It's so good. Also, she's like stoked, of course, that they're going to kill Buffy. And she's like, you know, if they really do it, Spike, we should get them a gift basket.
Yes.
Just, if you're listening and you want to fucking tweet at us or email us at bufferingthevampireslayer@gmail.com of what you think Harmony's gift basket to the Leth demons would include.
Oh my God.
I would
can't
love to
even-
know, you
I
know?
can't begin. That's very good. Probably some like a skincare regime.
Oh my God,
Face masks?
please, yes. Something for your tongue?
From separating to supple.
Yes.
Wow.
So then we scuttle right over into one of your favorite scenes because it's when Cousin Beth.
Oh.
Speaking of tongues, she's got some she's got a tongue lashing for old Tara.
I think some of the issue here is Tara's tongue lashing.
Wow.
Sorry.
Wow.
Anyway, let's just yeah. So Beth shows up in this so specific to the era, like tied. There was a name for those shirts and sweaters at one point that like only went to just past your boobs. You remember? And they were like, they're like little half cardigans. Someone's gonna know, and they'll tell you.
They'll tell us.
This one that's like a crossed over like wrap. Half
Very,
cardigan
like-
with the ruffles thing.
Yeah,
and-
like a conservative take on Britney Spears.
Yeah, 'cause she's got like a shirt under it. And
Yeah.
she's got this low side pony thing happening. Amy Adams has looked better, but I get that
she's
a country girl.
Right.
you
She
know.
doesn't she's not up on all the Sunnydale styles.
Exactly.
No one has told her about pleather. So yeah, brainwashed Cousin Beth calls Tara a selfish bitch.
Oh my God.
And she says, you know, your dad and Donnie can't take care of themselves. Like, how dare you, as the female of this household, leave them to make their own sandwiches. And so now I would like to actually play the patriarchy jingle. The patriarchy!
Ding dong, it's the Leth demons.
Oh, Ding Dong can't see them at all.
Yeah.
Luckily, Buffy has been doing one-armed handstands and, you know, communing with her crystals. Not the kind of communing with crystals that
Willow and Tara have been doing.
You are just as bad as me. I do like that Xander's like, why don't you go stretch out and train? It's like, okay, Xander, sure.
Although Xander's like, I've seen some videos on the internet.
I do have to say I'm pretty into the Buffy stretch that the scene opens
Yes,
with.
it
Like,
is.
every once in a while, you just fall into that hole of objectification, and I just fell right in.
Yep.
I was like, oh God,
Whoops,
that's
who left the manhole cover
well,
off that?
shit.
I tripped and then I was there. It's It's not my fault.
So Spike has a great moment in this like fight scene that we get. They all do a great job, I think, all of the actors in the scene and probably the stunt people of this invisible fighting. I think it's really done very believably and well. Spike rolls up and he like comes in and he just has this massive eye roll before he jumps in to help.
I know. It's so good because that really it's his thing, and it's a very good setup for future things.
Yes, he just doesn't want it to be.
He's like showing up being like, haha, I'm gonna watch the Slayer get killed. Oh no, she's in trouble.
Yeah. Shit.
Yes.
Also, we get to see Anya wielding a big magnifying glass, and we see Emma Caulfield holding both weapons and non-weapons in a weapon-like manner throughout the series, and it like never stops looking hilarious and great. That's all.
Good.
Should we play
She's all elbows.
Anya her jingle?
She spent 1 millennium demonically vengeancing, speaks her mind and then some. You know she's partial to the finer things and down with double boyfriends, oh yeah. Exchanging cash for goods and also services. She'd love to hold the money for ya. She'll hold that cash. Just keep the bunnies far from Anya.
Yes, well, it's about damn time, I say.
So Tara breaks the spell and also is like horrified when she realizes what she's done.
Oh no.
And then they defeat the clowns, and there's a really graphic kill where there's a clown, like she uses the step to snap the clown's neck.
Oh yeah.
It's
like a
rough.
curb stompy kind of like. We know there's a new stunt person, probably a new stunt choreographer as well, and it's like,
I don't like it.
I like the wrestling stuff, but this is like a little too visceral.
Far. Yeah.
I was like doing my hair at this point, and because I was like, okay, I know this fight scene.
Yeah, it's a little too much.
I do like the invisible demon thing because it does remind us that Buffy is a superhero because she like senses them and is the best at fighting them and can do that thing, and that comes up multiple times where she is fighting an unseen enemy or something like that, and she has to focus. Actually, like I feel like the first time in the one with Clay Duvall, the Invisible Girl episode, where she has to like,
and I think there's like elements of that in Helpless too, like, right? Like where she's like, I can sense it, I can't see it,
which I think is cool.
Yeah,
it's just neat.
Yeah,
it's
totally
neat continuity for her. Anyway, yes, demons.
So they defeat them, and in walks the McClay family, and they are horrified that this has all happened. And we've talked a lot about this already, but we get this exchange where Tara is looking at Willow and she's like, I'm gonna go. Like, I've fucked everything up, and also like I'm a fucking demon, and this is why I did this. There's this big reveal, and first of all, Anya is like comic relief and like, excuse me, my name's Anya. What kind of demon are they?
Because some demons are widely regarded as evil, and some become productive members of society, have found their place in the world, enjoy capitalism.
Yeah, and then Xander gives her this very like proud smile, which I actually really enjoyed. Yeah. I also earlier in the episode when he shows up and he's like, give me some sugar, and she's like, I've enjoyed your patronage.
Hell yeah.
I don't give Xander a lot of credit. That's a cute ass
scene. Listen, we all stan. I never say it out loud. I did it. Xander bottoming for Anya. Like, it's just, we're like super fucking here for it.
He's finding his place in the world.
Yes.
And it's under Anya. I'm sorry I stepped on that.
In sync. But then the serious side of this is, Tara saying, I'm going to go, and Willow being like, what are you talking about? And you can almost feel the like PTSD of Oz leaving. Like, it's because it's very like, she's gonna leave, she's just gonna leave right now, like you can't do this. And she asks her like, do you want to leave? And Tara of course doesn't. And fucking one of my favorite parts of the whole episode is when Dad McClay is like, it's not your decision, young lady, to Willow, and then Willow is like, I know that. And she says it so strongly and firmly, and like calling back to that moment of like not being introduced and feeling like maybe you shouldn't assert yourself, like, for it to like end in this place where Willow's like, step the fuck off, man.
Yeah.
Is nice.
I did really like that, where she's just like breaks, where she's like, You suck.
Yeah. And then I have a lot of sob written in my notes because this is when we then somersault into the girl belongs with her family. And Buffy is like, okay, well, that's fine, you know, and there's a moment of like, what do you fucking mean that's fine? And she's like, you just have to go through me. And what's really cute is that like now we know who Dawn is. And Dawn steps up next to Buffy and is like, and you got to go through me too. And they have this moment of being chosen family.
Yeah.
So it's just like this many layered.
And I do really love when Buffy says she's a hair puller.
Yeah.
So cute. So cute.
Also that Dawn is like the first one, the like least capable, but the first one to like step up behind Buffy and be like, squeak, squeak. You know?
Yes. Do you find it extremely weird that Willow doesn't?
Yeah.
Like she stays at the back and says nothing at this whole part, which
Well, maybe it's like about like Willow already is with Tara, you know, and like everybody else has to step up and show Willow and Tara that.
I guess that's fair. Yeah, like she already is Tara's family.
And I think she
also.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, I think that she doesn't know because Willow doesn't know if they're going to accept her. Like as much as Willow's always like, Tara, it's okay. Like you belong. Like Willow only has the ability to speak on behalf of herself. And she really hasn't gotten any confirmation until this moment that these family members of hers are welcoming Tara.
And Giles backs them up and is like, it's not just two little girls. Which is very silly because obviously Buffy could kill everyone in that room without trying.
Right.
But Giles is like, Daddy's here.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God. And then you know, they have this like really beautiful moment and Xander, I think, is like, you know, we're all here and we're all gonna da-da-da-da. And Spike's like, except me.
Yeah.
And Xander's like, oh yeah, except Spike.
Yeah, Spike doesn't care what happens.
I don't care what happens. That part is so good.
But he does.
Yeah, because he punches Tara to prove if, you know, she's a demon or not. And that's great. I love that when she's like, he hurt my nose. And it's so cute between the two of them.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. So Spike, right, like you said, Kate, kind of unearths this truth that the whole demon thing has been a fucking load of malarkey to keep women under control. God, are we really going to play this jingle 3 times?
We've done enough.
We know what it is.
The patriarchy's taken up enough time in this episode.
Yeah, God damn it.
But yeah, I do. I love that. And I love how Spike's just like, oh, you're a real like twisted piece of work or whatever he calls the dad.
Yeah. Yes.
When this all sort of gets outed and you get to see Cousin Beth's reaction to realizing that she has been raised in a cult and is like, Cousin Beth's gonna have her own, not a come to Jesus, come away from Jesus.
Yeah, step away from Jesus.
Put down the wrap cardigan. Pick up the crystal.
Pick up the crystal. Hey. So Tara tells her dad to just go.
And Beth is like, are you happy now? And Tara takes a moment to re-envision the crystal dildo awaiting her in her dorm room and bask in the warm glow of her newfound chosen family. And she's like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Birthday party montage.
Anything. It's so cute. I do also like that it gives a moment to show that, like, Donnie didn't know that.
Oh,
yet.
yeah.
Like, it's not,
oh, yeah.
You don't really deal with it, but he does have, like, as surprised a look. So
wow,
it's like he hadn't reached the age where they would tell him, oh, by the way, we manipulate all the women in our family. So get on board or get out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he also has been lied to. So that's really like a lot to think about.
Yeah, good call.
Much more fun is the party.
Is the party. Also, sorry, but Tara's dad, his last line is he just says, magic.
Yes.
So like, that's great. So yeah, let's go to the party. I scanned the room to see if it were full of queer people. I could not tell. I did not. Nary a flannel did I see.
So the evidence that we have so far is that all queer people in Sunnydale just wear like Renaissance fair dresses.
Yes.
Or like sweaters with cartoon cats on them.
Right, correct. Willow is blowing bubbles at the party, which is about the willowiest fucking thing that I've ever seen in my goddamn life.
Yes. Tara loves her crystal ball. And also her new broom. Dawn got her a broom.
Dawn got her a fucking broom. Speaking of your love for these two.
Their interactions are so cute. I just love it. There's like, I can't remember where it's from and completely outside of spoilers, but there is a moment where they have a conversation while sitting on a curb.
It happened in episode 2.
Okay. I love that.
They thumb wrestle.
Yes. Yes. That's where the love came from.
It's really, really sweet. And you can just picture Dawn like literally going to the hardware store.
Yeah.
You're like, I know what I'm going to get her.
Yeah.
It's so sweet.
We get the everybody drinking, and then Dawn going like, only losers drink alcohol.
Obviously.
And this was what I was talking about earlier when I was like, they're all 20, because they're all 20 and they're all drinking at the bar except for Riley and Giles.
Maybe the bronze is in Canada.
Who
knows? There's a portal that just takes them straight to Montreal. Drinking age is 18 there. Getting wild.
Tara gets her last attempt at clarifying her insect joke, and unfortunately it's with Anya, who's like, still not funny. I get it, not funny.
I love it.
And then here we go. I feel like literally anytime we talk to you, Kate, we end up crying about Willow and Tara by the end.
Well, welcome to my entire teenhood.
Yeah.
Was crying about them. And this one, like, again, you know, I always talk about this, but it's like the first time I saw this show was so monumental in like solidifying and backing up my queer identity and being like, this is real. You know, Willow not only has this relationship, but like her girlfriend is her own fleshed out character and, you know, gets her own arc and gets her own victories and gets to be part of this found family and is accepted into this group. And it's that the episode is not about Willow. Like, she's in it, but she doesn't do very much other than be kind of a sounding board. And I really, like, that was so special to me because this was one of maybe the first time it was like a fully Tara episode.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
And so that was a big one. And then, that song, which I cannot listen to without crying.
Can't take my eyes off you.
It's a lot.
Am I going to dance to it at my wedding? I
don't know.
don't know.
My God.
We already know Wild Horses is going to be
Obviously.
Colin and I are so funny. I'm not going to talk about wedding. It's fine. There are going to be a lot of songs from Steven Universe, though.
Oh my God. It's going to be the best wedding of the entire.
Very nerdy. But yeah, no, I love that. And they they're just what you probably know the quotes because I don't remember them.
I wrote down because this is kind of what I was talking about with the family. Like, not only was Tara ashamed of the fact that she was a demon, which wasn't true, but also if it was, there was nothing to be ashamed about. But she was also ashamed of her family, and that's kind of like what their like last exchange is about because she says like, I didn't want you to know where I came from. Yeah. And Willow, as they're slow dancing.
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, God.
She says, I think about what you grew up with, and then I look at what you are, and it makes me so proud. It makes me love you more. And then she's like, basically Tara's like, how do you always make me feel so special, even at my lowest moments? And Willow, echoing in the opposite vein what Tara's dad said as he left, was like, magic.
Oh, I didn't realize the parallel to being the last thing her dad says. That's very good.
I actually didn't either till I just said it.
Oh, that's very good. Yes, Jenny.
That was it. That was her whole commentary.
Well, the one thing that I will say is I know that Sunnydale is like a weird town where like, a lot of shit happens, but I have a hard time suspending my disbelief that two people could float up into the air at the bronze while slow dancing and no one would notice or do anything about it.
Well, they float when they're having a nice time together.
Yeah, I believe it.
You know.
Oh, I wonder if we'll see any more of that.
Couldn't say. Couldn't possibly say.
Oh, it's really incredible.
I'm legally forbidden from saying. But it is really sweet, and there is a little moment when they're floating up together where their little toes touch because they're hanging. Their feet are like hanging, and which is a very good. That's a very good detail because it doesn't just look like they're standing on an invisible floor, like 3 feet off the ground. Like they are floating,
suspended.
They're suspended, and it's like by their core, their heart area, and it's very like.
And they're like they're truly like wrapped around each other, which is and this we finally cleared permission to retweet this GIF of them. So because people anytime we talk about Tara and Willow, this is one of the main things that we see because it is such an incredibly beautiful moment.
You can barely tell where one long sleeve black background dress begins and another ends.
I was gonna say they're paisley intertwined.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, this is
Which one is the peasant top and which one is the peasant bottom.
Oh,
wow.
I don't think I've ever
Wow, that's
snapped
fucked up.
on the mic before.
I know, it is, right? Sorry to all the peasants out there.
Yeah. So I think we've done it. Do you want to talk about anything else? Have we forgotten anything about this episode?
No, I mean, it's so good.
It's so good.
I love it. I love the scene in the end. I think about it all the time when I think about, like, you know, the most romantic moments from things I've seen, the most impactful kind of moments. And them dancing together is like right up there with their first sort of kiss and like with the candle blowing out. It's like, it's such a beautiful moment, and that they get that episode, you know, Tara gets that.
And this, like, I got the chills while you were talking because I think so much of what happens in the buffering universe is informed by what happens in the Buffy universe. And, like, this is not the first time, but maybe the most intense time we've seen Chosen Family. Yeah. And, like, that's why, like, when we talk about this podcast, we're like, it's a podcast, but then it's like something else.
Yeah.
And it's because this show really, like, helps us to understand how deep our ties can go to our chosen family. And that, you know, they underline it even in an actual line in the scene in the magic box where, you know, the dad is like, you know, she's our blood kin. And it's like,
what are you?
Right. Family. Like that line is drawn clearly.
It's so good. And that makes me cry too. Because I am a person who for most of my life has had chosen family. Like I'm close to my mom but like things have not always been easy. Yeah. Shockingly for a queer person.
Yeah.
And there have been a lot of times where I, you know, haven't been in touch with my parents and have, you know, created families around me. And I think that's what we do. You know, that's what queer people do. That's pretty basic stuff. And I think that is really appropriate for this episode about Tara, like about this queer relationship, and that being part of the analogy is like, you know, you can move away from your family and you will find other people and like, it's not, you know, I think it's really beautiful. Yes. And I think it is really beautiful for the podcast because it is an incredible family of horn dogs that is so sweet. So sweet. And every time I go to a buffering thing, everyone I meet is so incredible and sweet and amazing. I actually was at a con recently and someone came up and they were like, I saw you at prom. And I was like, you were dressed as Tara. And it was like a very fun, great moment. A bunch of people at FlameCon said hi, by the way.
Oh my God, hi to all of you. Said hi at FlameCon.
It was great.
But we love our chosen family, and I think the reason we know about chosen family has a lot to do with our queerness, and also like shows like this that fucking underline it. So anyway,
let's take it from one end of the spectrum, chosen family, all the way over to the other end of the spectrum for the Sexual Tension Awards.
Sexual Attention Award.
Well, it's that time once again, of course. The most important part of the episode, some might say. For us to tell you who the nominees are for this episode's Sexual Tension Awards.
We've made Jenny read all 4 of them because she's so excited.
Yes.
I'm so excited. Here are your choices. Good luck picking one. First up, we have, oh my goodness, convening at long last at a roadside stand that only sells great big ears of corn. It's Farmer Finn and Big City Slayer. Well on their way to a tilt-a-whirl head scissor takedown. It's Wrestling Club with Riley and Xander.
Hot.
A pairing that really needs no introduction except for the entirety of this episode that came before it. It's the Crystal Dildo and All of Us.
Hell yes.
Long may it rain. All hail. And in the 4th and final slot, for your consideration.
Wow.
It's Naughty Vampire Gets Well-Deserved Beatdown from Petite Blonde Slayer, 1080p HD.
I explained to Jenny that I would not be able to fit that all in the Twitter poll, but I'll do my best.
Spike and Fantasy Buffy.
Yes. You all know.
We're all already thinking it.
So good luck. Follow us over on Twitter at BufferingCast. The poll goes up the day that the episode does, and it's up for a week, so you have a chance to vote for your pick for the Sexual Tension Awards.
Sexual Attention Award.
Kate Leth.
That's me.
Thanks for being here with us.
Oh my gosh.
It's the best.
Thank you for having me. You continue to tolerate me 5 seasons in.
The best. I thought about that actually as we were waiting to meet you here at the space today. I was like, remember when like a million years ago we had you on an episode?
Yep.
And then you were like, or we were like, I don't even know where the idea came from. But like we were like, this should go on forever.
Yeah, I just wormed my way in there.
Oh.
That's what I do.
And you're never allowed to leave.
Never.
I honestly
just 3 crystal dildos all in a drawer together. Best friends.
It made me feel. I was like really felt very sweet about the 3 crystal dildos together.
Yeah, no, it's been a
oh my
ride.
God, we're like the alternate version of the crystal gems.
Oh my God.
Okay. So Kate, if the listeners somehow have not found you in all of the places, where can they find you?
Oh, in their dreams.
Yeah.
You can find me on Twitter at Kate Leth. You can find me basically everywhere at Kate Leth. I'm kateleth.com. Since we're recording this in advance, who the hell knows what I'll be doing in November, because I'm a freelance artist and just trying to live. But you can also find my comic Valley Ghouls at valleyghouls.com, which is kind of a new thing since we all got together. It is a slice of life comic that I do about me and my partner and other friends as monsters and ghouls.
Y'all, if somehow you have fucking missed this, which I can't imagine any of you have, but if you have not, run, do not walk.
It's so good.
It's on
Kate
Webtoon
is a bat.
now. It's on Instagram. You can find it pretty much anywhere. I do want to ask, if you were going to be a ghoul, what would you be? The limitations are animals or monsters.
I need time to think about this.
Okay,
This is too big of a question. Jenny,
Could I be?
Jenny knows already.
Please, if it ever comes up, like a yellow lab that
Oh,
has
of
vampire
course.
fangs
Oh,
that
yeah.
like pop in, like the
perfect.
99-cent kind.
Yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I'm going to think about it.
Yeah,
I'm
get
gonna
back
think
to me.
about it and get back.
This
to
might be
you.
a moot point by the time everyone hears this, but it was born in this moment. But yeah, that's most of what I'm up to now, other than being here and talking pleather and Giles with all of you.
We fucking love you and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Jenny, if they would like to find a yellow lab with retractable 99-cent fangs, where would they find you?
Well, you can find me over at jennyowenyoungs.com or on socials at jennyowenyoungs. I have a fucking new EP that just came out on Fridays called Night Shift, and that's a thing you could listen to and obtain if you wish to buy it in physical form and then put it under your pillow and whisper all of your secret thoughts to it every night. You can listen to me talk about Veronica Mars over on Veronica Mars Investigations every week, and that is my stuff. Yes. And Kristin?
Oh, hi. I am Kristin Russo, and you can find out about the work that I do with LGBTQ people and people who support and love and want to better support their LGBTQ loved ones over on my website at Kristin Noeline. That's KristinNoeline. Thank you, Jenny.
Yeah,
that was nice. And that's also, you can use that spelling to find me on Twitter and Instagram. And I am still journeying through my so-called life on the Boiler Room podcast with Joanna Robinson.
Woo! Shout out to Joanna.
Yeah. Love us some Joanna Robinson. And so you can find me in all those places. And you can find us at BufferingCast on Twitter, on Instagram, and Facebook. And you can also go to bufferingthevampireslayer.com, where you can support us on Patreon. You can buy merch, so much of which is designed by our very own Kate Leth.
Oh my God. You can listen to all our music, our many Buffy songs.
You can do all of those things. And you could also, hey, if you haven't done it yet, rate and review us on iTunes. We love that.
Please do.
I think that's all we got. Oh my gosh.
Should we say Crystal Dildo one more time just for good measure?
Instead of saying until next time, say Crystal Dildo in the same intonation and then we'll howl out.
Okay, great. Perfect.
I know you can do it. You're a musician.
Yeah, I just got to reinterpret. Okay.
Crystal Dildo. Ow!
Choose who your blood runs through, but you can choose who to trust. You can't choose who your blood runs through, but you can choose who you love. Family feels different to me than it did way back when. Won't always be how you thought it would be, but it fits in my heart and my head. Haven't known you for forever, but let's start from here. You can't choose who your blood runs through, but you can choose who to trust. You can't choose who your blood runs through, but you can choose who you love. You can choose who you love. Always knew we'd be an army of few, but we fight, oh we fight side by side. And now we do what we know how to do. Hold the light, we survive and we rise. Haven't known you for forever, but let's start from here. You can't choose who your blood runs through, but you can choose who to trust. You can't choose who your blood runs through, but you can choose who you love. You can choose who you love. But you can choose who to trust. You can't choose who your blood runs through, but you can choose who you love. You can't choose who your blood runs through, but you can choose who to trust. You can't choose who your blood runs through, but you can choose who you love. You can choose who you love.
Welcome to the small town of Chinook, where faith runs deep and secrets run deeper. In this new thriller, religion and crime collide when a gruesome murder rocks the isolated Montana community. Everyone is quick to point their fingers at a drug-addicted teenager, but local deputy Ruth Vogel isn't convinced. She suspects connections to a powerful religious group. Enter federal agent V.B. Laureau, who has been investigating a local church for possible criminal activity. The pair form an unlikely partnership to catch the killer, unearthing secrets that leave Ruth torn between her duty to the law, her religious convictions, and her very own family. But something more sinister than murder is afoot, and someone is watching Ruth. Chinook, starring Kelly Marie Tran and Sanaa Lathan. Listen to Chinook wherever you get your podcasts.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The heresies of Radolf Buntwine, wherever podcasts are available.